Good evening, guys, and welcome along to RWA Productions Sunderland fan Bradley Young, which is your host. Alongside me is two special guests tonight. Is obviously Paul Wilson, obviously my co-host.
Good evening, everybody.
And to the right of me, I have a Watford podcast on, DNSYE, which stands for Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. So we're joined by Pete this evening.
Hiya.
Good evening to you, Pete. Not really a good start for the Watford fans, which very disappointing, but a really good solid start for Sunderland fans, as you all know. So, yes, in the chat so far, give me a shout out, Paul and Brad. Kieran Leoxley, there you go, there's a shout out, mate. Paul,
Hi, Kieran.
do you want to So, what we'll do is we'll get the fixture list up so far, the results what we've had so far. So far, QPR is obviously absolutely got beat 4-0 off them, first game of the season. Then, unfortunately, they got knocked out in the AFL Cup against Stevenage 4-3. Was 1-1 draw. I think that got took to penalties, if I'm wrong, Pete.
It did, no, it went to penalties. Yep.
Yeah. Then you drew 0-0 against Plymouth Argyle, second game of the season. Then you got beat against Alex Neil's side, Stoke City 1-0. Then you got beat against Blackburn 1-0. Then you drew Coventry 3-0, won Birmingham 2-0. Drew West Brom 2-2 and lost against Leeds United 3-0. And you lost against Middlesbrough, as I believe. I think it's 3-2?
3-2. Last Saturday. Yeah.
3-2 last Saturday.
We beat QPR 4-0. It was the other way around, but we got all of our goals in the first half. QPR turned up and were simply atrocious. So we.
Yeah. That's what I just said before. Pete, that you thumped QPR 4-0. That's what I just said.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
It's all right. But the attention turns to Sunderland tomorrow night up at the Stadium of Light on a very cold Wednesday night. Apparently, it's going to only be about 11 degrees, 10 degrees tomorrow night, which has normally been about 15, 16 lately. But are you coming up tomorrow night, Pete?
No, I'm not. I'm not up. I run a phone in after, so I'm going to be here for a midweek, I'm afraid. The last time I came up, it was Roker Park rather than Stadium of Light. So a little while ago since I travelled up to Sunderland.
So you've got some really good players in your team, though. You've got some really good players, I imagine. I think does Joao Pedro still play for you? I don't think he does.
No, we don't have really good players. This is part of the issue. Basically, what's happened with us is everybody will know about the Pozzo family, who are our owners, constantly firing managers, and we've had a constant rotation of some players that historically Watford would never have seen before. The likes of Joao Pedro, the likes of Ismail Assar, but we kind of went into we came out of the pandemic and we got relegated. We did get back again during the pandemic, but nothing was quite right. And now basically we have trimmed our squad and our player wages because obviously we're coming down and we're having to cut our cloth rather than hopefully kind of fall through with huge amounts of expenses and becoming a next Southend or a Bury or what have you. So no, we are far less enamoured with players of quality than we've had previously. We do still have some decent players. But we kind of a lot lighter on the ground than we were.
Going into this game, I want the score prediction off you, both Paul Wilson and Pete. Before we get into the preview itself, Paul, what are you going for? Who are you first?
Well, I'm stuck because, like I said to you, Brad, one of our key players is actually unfortunately missing tomorrow. We've got no idea who it is.
Yeah.
And we can't rotate the squad either. That's according to Tony Mowbray. Hmm. Our home form as well. uh, hmm. I'll go for a draw. 1-1.
Yeah, happy with a draw. Yeah. What about you, Pete? What would you go for?
I think we take your arm off now for a draw. We haven't won an away game since February, so our away form is absolutely turgid. You may have one player out. We will have probably a relatively full strength squad, but we are not quite firing on all cylinders whatsoever. The majority of the games, with the exception of Leeds absolutely pummeled us. 3-0 did us did them no favours. It was really quite embarrassing. It could have been 7 or 8. But all of the other games that we've lost by the odd goal. If I'm going hand, kind of hand on head rather than hand on heart, I'd say we'll lose by the odd goal, and I'd say a 2-1. 2-1 to the Mackems.
2-1. Okay.
How will you actually come?
Been in great form.
Will you actually come to? Will you actually? Yeah, because I think Cardiff came to us, didn't they, Brad, to attack us from the back. So, how will you come to? How will you actually come to Charleston, Pete? What type of formation do you use?
We will probably play a 4-3-3. We did again in the second half against Leeds go to a 3-5-2, but that was just to stem the tide, basically. So we'll go 4-3-3, but it's fairly fluid. So we play with very attacking fullbacks. So it'll be Jamal Lewis from that lot up the road from you on home, obviously. It's all right. Don't worry. We know how it feels. Everybody's banging on about Luton at the moment, so we don't talk about those other people in the Premiership. It's not even proper football. On the right hand side, we'll either have Jeremy Ngakia or Ryan Andrews. Ryan Andrews was rested completely for Saturday, so I imagine he'll probably use him. Because we've got quite a thin squad, he's going to have to rotate for these midweek games. Ryan Andrews is pretty, he's the son of a previous player, so he's kind of semi-Watford royalty. He's got into the team at the end of last season. He drives forward. He's got good energy. He's the next big hope for us at right back. Our two centre-backs will be Hoot and Porteous. Hoot came to us from Anderlecht, has done pretty well left-footed. He got a goal against the Smoggies on Saturday, and he's covering pretty well, and he's kind of he didn't look the best of the two. It looked like Porteous, who came from Hibs up in Scotland, was going to be the best, but he just seemed to have gone off the boil a little bit. When he's going into challenges and he's he'll try and make the challenge, but then he'll fall down like he's been injured and then be surprised when he doesn't get given the free kick. The 3-3 draw that we had at Coventry was, kind of an example of these two guys having a bit of a wobbly. Hoot scored an own goal because we play around a lot at the back, because that's what Ismail wants us to do. Valerian Ismail being our manager. People will remember him from the best season was Barnsley, then he was at West Brom, and he had a spell out in Besiktas in Turkey between that. We quite like him because he's kind of up and at 'em. And the last 4 years of football at Watford, even though we had some really good players, was just turgid and it was slow, and at least we play aggressively. We've got a converted centre-back, a guy called Francisco Sierralta, who's a Chilean international, who has converted into a kind of a CDM or a number 6, whatever you want to call it, in front of the back four. And then we play 2 number 8s. Both of those are inverted, as are our 2 wingers, and then we play with a single forward. We signed finally a forward called Mileta Rajovic. He got 3 and 3, but since then has done absolutely nothing in terms of the build-up. And he was dropped to the bench on Saturday. As a result, he came on, but to no avail. So that's what we'll do. Wide players, and this is where our good players come in. We've got a Colombian lad called Espria, not Faustino Espria from that lot up the road from you, but a lad called Yasser Espria. He is no relation, we are confirmed. We've got a guy called Georgi Chekfadadze. We call him Dave because it just saves time, who's really exciting, but he tends to come off the bench, as does Espria. and we've got other people will know a little bit more. People like Tom Ince, who tends to start on the right hand side of an inverted winger, and then finally in the left wing position, or the left attacking forward as it is now in a 4-3-3, we've got a kid called Mateus Martins, who's followed over from João Pedro, and before him Richarlison. We've got this connection seemingly with Fluminense in Brazil, and he's the latest wonder kid, but we won't benefit because he's an Udinese player we have had on loan. But he's pretty good. He will cut in and put those horrible kind of curling balls into the top right hand corner, or die trying, basically, because he either misses a load or he slams one in, and it's quite something to see. But he's a very exciting young talent for us.
So we're going to move on. Apparently, that Valerian Ismail, whatever you call him, I don't know who the manager is. I can't remember who his name is. It's a very hard word to pronounce. But apparently, he's brought out a club statement this afternoon. So I'm going to bring it up.
We've extended his contract.
It's a good point to make, to be honest, going into this game. So the head coach has signed an extended contract with Watford FC. The club is pleased to confirm, with the deal's details remain broadly the same. The Hornets have moved to lock in the services of the former France youth international for a long period of time. The owner, the board, and all the senior management team have enjoyed getting to know and understand Varane and his methods, said Sporting Director Cristiano Giaretta. Giaretta, yeah, I thought it was something like that. It's true, we haven't achieved the points we would like yet, but it's the work and the progress we see that gives us great confidence. Also, he added in there as well, it's like others, like I said, this season you can feel the sense that we are changing here, and there is plenty of positive atmosphere everywhere. We have taught the first team players and the staff who have reacted positively. So now we must all focus on our work in the match at Sunderland tomorrow night. So, what we got here? So, in the live chat, how are you, lad? Says William, you've supported the wrong team here, mate. Unfortunately, he says, do I think Mbappe ever come to the stadium? No.
I knew that was coming.
Says Wagwan Famalam. All right, Amph, what are you doing? All right?
All right, Ant.
So, I thought we were going to go over time, but we're not. So what we can do is Pete can join in with this as well, if you want. It's a bit of championship picture, so it's basically predicting all the scores around the grounds, which I normally tend to do with people like guests. So you've got a good job tonight, Pete. You've got to predict all the scores from different teams. So here we go. So we've got Ipswich and Hull. We've got Middlesbrough and Cardiff. Birmingham versus Huddersfield. Plymouth Argyle versus Millwall. West Brom and Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke Southampton. Leicester Preston. Swansea Norwich. Leeds QPR. Sunderland Watford. And also we've got Coventry Blackburn and Rotherham and Bristol City. So we're going to go for top first and we're going to go down to the bottom. So Ipswich versus Hull. Paul, what are you going to predict here?
I'll speak of yourself. I'll just say that comment.
Like 3 times if you need to know what these two are like.
I'll get you back. Ipswich at the moment, well, they'll be kicking off in a minute. So for me, I think Ipswich will actually beat Hull.
What score line?
3-0 Ipswich.
3-0 Ipswich. What about you, Pete?
Both teams are scoring. I'll go 3-2 to Ipswich.
3-2. Okay. Ipswich and Hull's going to be a tough game for me. Very tasty both sides. Hull's up there as well. Ipswich are up there obviously as well. So now I'm going to say 1-1 draw. I think there's going to be a draw here. Next, we're going to move on Middlesbrough versus Cardiff. Paul, do you want to take your stride first again? Middlesbrough, Cardiff.
Well, this one's interesting. The way Cardiff played against us, and we've got Middlesbrough actually on Saturday. If Cardiff play like they did against us, I can actually see Cardiff actually nicking this.
What score are you thinking?
I'm going to say 2-1 Cardiff.
2-1 Cardiff, Pete?
I'll go 2-1 Middlesbrough.
2-1 Middlesbrough?
Yeah. They only had 3 shots on goal on Saturday, but they scored 3. And the lad Coburn up front is for a young lad, I think he's got a good future.
Middlesbrough, Cardiff, I'm going to say a 2-1 Middlesbrough as well. I think Middlesbrough's in for a shout. Say a 2-1 Middlesbrough. Next one, Birmingham versus Huddersfield. Kieran Lee Oxley, like a young ice cream man, get me it. Face blue smile. Got to do it for Bradley Lowry, surely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Quite right on that one.
There is suggestion of an organised, kind of minute of applause on the 6th minute for him. So I'm sure all the Watford fans will be more than happy to join in with that after the shocking display at Hillsborough, which is no reflection on Sheffield Wednesday. Every team has got them. Amazed that they're let out. Sorry, mate. Go on, carry on.
Holly Ward, one of my friends on college, she says, "Hey guys, Sunderland will win tomorrow." Thank you very much indeed, Holly. Birmingham versus Huddersfield. What are you going for, Paul?
Darren Moore against Birmingham.
Gonna be tasty.
Yeah, it will be. 2-1 Huddersfield.
2-1 Huddersfield. Pete?
2-0 Birmingham.
2-0 Birmingham. You know what? I must keep saying draws for every single game there. I'm going to say 1-1. I'm going to say 1-1 draw again. I think it's going to be a draw this game. Next game is Plymouth versus Millwall. Very tough game as well. Obviously, Plymouth got promoted from League One last season up to the Championship. Up against a tough test Millwall. Got away from home though. But this time we're going to start with Pete this time. So, Pete.
I will go 2-0 Plymouth. It's a long way to travel down to. Millwall haven't really been setting everything alight this season. And we were really impressed with Plymouth when they came up and faced us. It was 0-0. We should have absolutely put them to the sword, but actually in the end they could have quite comfortably taken it. So no, I'll go Plymouth.
Plymouth 2-0. Paul?
Yeah, well, I actually have to agree because Plymouth does really well at home. Their home record. They're coming up against a good Millwall's a good manager. So
Gary Rowell.
I'm actually going to say the same 2-0 Plymouth.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Plymouth one as well. That's all I can see here, but I don't think it's going to be 2-0. I think it's going to be a goal in it. I think it's going to be 2-1. 2-1 Plymouth. That's what I think. Tonight, Sheffield Wednesday fans, look away. West Brom versus Sheffield Wednesday. What we're going for, Pete? What we're going for?
Anything to 0. I mean, when we had Cisco Munoz, who's now in charge, loosely speaking, at Sheffield Wednesday, and he came in. We had a guy called Ivic, who was like Dracula, only less fun. And he followed in after him, and he'd made us defensively solid. And Ishmael came in and just he managed to win promotion just by not being this other guy. I'm going to go 3-0 West Brom.
3-0 West Brom, Paul?
Well, look at what Chef Wed was like against us. Sorry, Mitchell, if you are listening. Your boys won't be like. West Brom is actually going to get a result against these. So I'm actually going to go 3-0 West Brom.
Well, I've just seen from the Wednesday Sing group because they haven't made any changes for this game. Vasquez, Palmer, Iorfa, Bernard, Fueno, Delgado, Vaux, Baxton, Muscaba, Smith, and Fletcher. They haven't made any changes. So this game, sorry, but I think it's going to be a 5-1 thrashing to West Brom. Do apologise. Any Sheffield Wednesday supporters on here?
That's what Mitchell actually predicted. When we had him on last week.
He said 4-0, didn't he? Did he not say 4-0?
Yeah. He said actually that Sheffield Wednesday will actually get beat.
Yeah, he did. 4-0. Next game is going to be very tasty as well. Stoke City versus Southampton. That's a very tasty game. 8 o'clock kick-off tonight under our former manager Alex Neil. Paul, we'll start with you first. Stoke versus Southampton. What are you going for?
Alex Neil against Russell Morton. Oh. Well, I'm not going for the Stoke win because of what Alex Neil done to us. I'm actually going to say 2-1 Russell Morton.
2-1 Southampton, Pete?
Alex Neil and Russell Martin, two of the least likeable managers in world history, I would suggest. They're right up there with Paul Ince. I will go. I'll go Southampton on the basis that they kind of got a decent result of the weekend, and I'll go 3-1 Southampton.
3-1 Southampton. Okay. Southampton won. I think did win 3-0. Southampton the other day. I think they did, didn't they? Was it 3-0? Yeah, I thought so. Southampton won 3-0. I think they'll have to keep consistency here. So, to be honest, I don't think they'll win tonight, but I'm going to go for an unbeaten. So I'm going to go 2-2. Sheffield, Stoke, and Southampton. Sorry, 2-2.
Alex will love that scoreline.
You love that scoreline all day long. Leicester versus Preston. So it's Leicester City top of the league. I think Leicester are, or is it Ipswich? I can't remember who's top of the league. Ipswich or Leicester, I don't know. And we're up against Preston North End. Had a brilliant start of the season, Preston, but we've kind of fallen on the way. We could defeat at the weekend. But Paul, we'll start with you. What are you going for?
Well, this one's interesting because Leicester actually beat, I think it was Blackburn the other day. Because I was talking to Ant, trying to sort out for a guest for this, but which week we have. 2-0 Leicester.
2-0 Leicester. Pete, what are you going for?
3-0 Leicester. I think they're on fire.
4-0 Leicester. There you go. Straight in.
Sorry, Preston.
Swansea City versus Norwich City. Very tough game as well. Norwich City, really good manager. They've got up against Swansea. Tomorrow night, 19:45. Paul, what are you going for? Swansea, Norwich.
This is a tough one, actually. Well, the games are. 1-1.
1-1. Pete?
It's one of those scores where you just kind of go, who cares? It's Swansea versus Norwich, both inoffensive, both nice people I know at both clubs, but really? Well, let's go for Desmond 2-2.
Okay, 2-2. Swansea versus Norwich. You can't back Norwich not to win, can you? So I'll say 2-0 Norwich. Next game, Leeds United versus QPR. Leeds have had a very a kind of sloppy start of the season, but they've kind of built up on that. But we'll go with Paul first. Paul, what are you going for?
Well, actually, I'm going to say Leeds win because, we know what QPR's like. You know, we after us playing them, Brad, we know exactly what to expect. But Leeds, We haven't played Leeds yet, but I'm going to say 2-0 Leeds.
Pete, what are you going for?
If it's anything like the Leeds side that we faced a couple of weeks ago now, it'll be Leeds United all the way. We play QPR first game of the season. Again, it also depends on which QPR side turn up, but under Gareth Ainsworth, I would say that the likelihood is that they will be shocking or somewhere close to it. So I'll go 3-0 Leeds. As I say, they could have scored 7 past us, and there would have been no, objections to the scoreline as being unfair. I think Leeds, if they can get it going, and Farker at home with Elland Road behind him, it can be an intimidating place to go.
Okay. Well, people, Leeds United fans, if you're watching, please look away now. Please just look away what I'm going to say, because you're not going to like what I'm going to say about this. Because I've got my ex-girlfriend who supports Leeds United, so yeah, as well. So I'm going to say 1-0 QPR. I'm going to shock them. I'm going to say 1-0 QPR.
Is this more to do with your ex-girlfriend than it is to do with the 2 football teams?
Yeah.
It sounds that way.
Yeah. What's the difference? Excuse me, William, come on.
What was that?
See, what's the difference between a fat lass and a Sunderland striker? And a fat lass scores every once in a while. Gosh, a bit of offensive content, So, Sunderland versus Watford. You said, what did you say, Paul? 2-1.
Yeah, I said 1-1.
Pete said 2-1. Did I say my score prediction? I don't think I did on this one.
No, I don't think you did.
Sunderland versus Watford. You know what I'm going to go for? I'm going to say 3-1 Sunderland. That's what I think. 3-1 Sunderland. Goals from Jack Clark. I think Mason Burstow's going to get his first goal as well. That's what I think. I think it's coming for him. I think tomorrow night's a perfect time to get it as well. Fair point, says Amph. A couple of fixtures further down as well. We've got Coventry and Blackburn and Rotherham and Bristol City. So we'll go with Coventry first versus Blackburn Rovers. Paul, what are you going for? Two very tough teams to look at.
It is. Well. Jacob, I hope you're not listening, but Coventry.
We don't like our pot. We don't like our pot, remember, Paul?
No, they don't. But I reckon Sims is going to score for Coventry.
So what are you going for?
Because Sims actually scored the other day.
He scored twice,
for them, actually. Yeah, he did.
What are you going for?
And the thing is, Blackburn got beat the other day, so...
Off Leicester.
Yeah. I'll go say 2-1 Blackburn.
2-1 Blackburn. Pete?
I'll go 1-1. Like Coventry and like Blackburn as well. Again, nice people. So I'll be nice there. Coventry won't win simply on the basis that they're not playing Watford, because we always give Coventry a goal. If we don't give it to them, we score it for them one way or other. So ready for charity, Watford FC back 4. Never mind.
For me, say 2s each. Coventry, Blackburn, 2s each. Very tough sides to play against. Rotherham versus Bristol City. This is kind of like a relegation scrap fight for me, kind of, because Rotherham's in the bottom 3, and so like a Bristol City hasn't had a good start either. So, Pete, we could start with you on this one for the last one. What are you going for?
Saw some highlights from the Bristol City game. I think they're looking okay. I'm going to go 2-1 Bristol City.
2-1 Bristol City. Paul?
Oh. I'm actually going to turn it around. I'm going to say 2-1 Rotherham.
2-1 Rotherham, okay. Like I say, I don't think Bristol City's had a good start of the season, but given day I've seen some of the highlights. I've not a bad game against whoever they played given day. I can't remember who they played, but they played really well.
No, Nigel Pearson, though, he'll turn it around.
Yeah, he'll turn it around. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say 2-0 Bristol City. I think Bristol City will win Rotherham tomorrow. 2-0 Bristol. Right then, guys, that is the final of our score predictions for this evening. 2 seconds, gonna get this off. 2 seconds, yes, I can. So yes, that about wraps it up for this evening. A half an hour kind of match preview from myself, from Paul Wilson. Say goodbye to everyone, Paul.
Yeah, say that. Do you not want to mention, Brad, what you were going to mention to me
What was it?
about?
Oh.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I know what it is now. Bloody heck. So on Facebook, I've set up a Just Giving page for this Jude person who died on Sunday. He battled 2 years of cancer. Unfortunately, he passed away at the weekend. He was a Sheffield Wednesday fan, a massive Sheffield Wednesday fan. 5-year-old, very sad. But he goes in the history book of Bradley Lowry as well because they both passed away with the same thing. So, bless them. But so far, this channel has donated £22 so far for Jude. So, if you want to donate, go to my Just Giving page on Facebook. I'll send you the link if you fancy it. Just comment in the just comment in the YouTube comments after the show if you want the thing, and I'll send it to you. But yeah, thank you very much indeed as well, Pete, for coming on this evening. You've been fantastic. Another guest, really good. So I can tick off the list from Watford.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All the best for the rest of the season, Pete. After tomorrow.
Always. Don't worry. I think you'll have all the luck you need tomorrow with our back four.
Yeah. Anyways, take care, everyone, and for now, peace out. Goodbye.